This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Catherine Fitz, Davis, California, March 2007. Good Things to Eat as Suggested by Rufus, by Rufus Estes. Section 6. Instructions for preparing poultry before dressing. To serve poultry tender and delicate, it should be kept some hours after being killed, before boiling or roasting. Poultry intended for dinner should be killed the evening before. When poultry has ceased to bleed, before picking, put it into cold water, in a vessel large enough to completely cover it. Then take out and soak in boiling water for a few minutes. Pick it, being careful to take out all the small feathers. When cleaning the inside of poultry or game, be sure not to break the gallbladder, for it will give a bitter taste to the meat. Be equally careful not to tear the intestines near the gizzard, as it will make the inside dirty and spoil the whole bird. Poultry and poultry dressings. Bohemian chicken. Select a young and tender chicken and prepare as for frying or boiling. Place in a frying pan a pat of butter and place on the fire. Beat to a smooth, thin batter 2 eggs, 3 spoonfuls of milk, and a little flour. Season, dip each piece of the chicken in this batter and fry a rich brown in the heated butter. Chicken a la tartare. Have a chicken dressed and split down the back. It should not weigh over 2½ pounds. Put 1/4 cup of butter in a frying pan with a teaspoon of finely minced parsley, half a teaspoon of salt, and a little pepper. Brown each half of the chicken in the butter and on both sides. Take up the chicken, brush the inside over with an egg beaten with 1 tablespoon of cold water. Lay in a dripping pan and dust over the egg half a cup of fine breadcrumbs, mixed with the same amount of minced cooked ham. Set in a hot oven and finish cooking. Serve on a hot dish with sauce tartare. The chicken will cook best if laid in a wire broiler resting on the dripping pan. Chicken broiled in paper. Split a chicken and let it soak for 2 hours in oil mixed with parsley, sliced onion, cloves, salt, and pepper. Put each half in papers, enclosing all the seasoning, and broil over a slow fire. When done, take off the paper, bacon, etc., and serve with sauce a la ravigote. Chicken croquettes. Stir a pint of fine chopped chicken into a 1¼ cup of sauce made of 1/3 cup of flour, 3 tablespoons of butter, a cup of chicken stock, and 1/4 cup of cream. Season with a few drops of onion juice, a teaspoon of lemon, 1 teaspoonful celery salt, and pepper. When thoroughly chilled, form into cylindrical shapes, roll in egg and breadcrumbs, and fry in deep fat. Serve surrounded with peas and figures stamped on cooked slices of carrot. Season with salt, paprika, and butter. Chicken croquettes. Take 2 chickens weighing about 2 pounds each, put them into a saucepan with water to cover. Add 2 onions and carrots, a small bunch of parsley and thyme, a few cloves and half a grated nutmeg, and boil until birds are tender. Then remove the skin, gristle, and sinews, and chop the meat as fine as possible. Put into a saucepan 1 pound of butter and 2 tablespoonfuls of flour. Stir over the fire for a few minutes and add half a pint of the liquor the chickens were cooked in and 1 pint of rich cream, and boil for 8 or 10 minutes, stirring continually. Remove the pan from the fire, season with salt, pepper, grated nutmeg, and a little powdered sweet marjoram. Add the chopped meat and stir well. Then stir in rapidly the yolks of 4 eggs. Place the saucepan on the fire for a minute, stirring well. Turn the mass onto a dish, spread it out, and let it get cold. Cover the hands with flour and form the preparation into shapes. Dip them into egg beaten with cream, then in sifted breadcrumbs, and let them stand for half an hour or so to dry. Then fry them a delicate color after plunging into boiling lard. Take them out, drain, place on a napkin on a dish, and serve. The remainder of the chicken stock may be used for making consomme or soup. Chicken croquettes with fish flavor. The foundation of all croquettes is a thick white sauce which stiffens when cold, so that mixed with minced fish, chicken, or other compounds, it can be easily handled and shaped into pears, cylinders, ovals, etc. When cooked, the croquettes should be soft and creamy inside. This sauce is made as follows. Scald in a double boiler 1 pint rich milk or cream. Melt in a granite saucepan 2 even tablespoons butter. Then add 2 heaping tablespoonfuls cornstarch or flour and 1 tablespoonful of flavor. When blended, add 1/3 of the hot cream and keep stirring as it cooks and thickens. When perfectly smooth, put in all the cream. The sauce should be very thick. Add the seasoning, a half teaspoonful of salt, a half teaspoonful celery salt, white peppers or paprika to taste, then the meat. In shaping the croquettes, take about a tablespoonful of the mixture, and handling gently and carefully, press gently into whatever shape is desired. Have ready a board sprinkled lightly with bread or cracker crumbs, and roll the croquettes lightly in this, taking care not to exert pressure sufficient to break them. Coat the croquettes with some slightly salted beaten egg, then roll again in the crumbs. Fry in deep hot fat, a few at a time, then drain on paper. Chicken pot pie. Cut a fowl into pieces to serve and cook in water to cover until the bones will come out easily. Before taking them out, drop dumplings in, cover closely, and cook 10 minutes without lifting the cover. The liquid should be boiling rapidly when the dough is put in, and kept boiling until the end. For the dumplings, sift 2 cups of flour twice with a half a level teaspoon of salt and 4 level teaspoons of baking powder. Mix with about 7/8 cup of milk, turn out on a well-floured board, and pat out half an inch thick. Cut into small cakes. If this soft dough is put into the kettle in spoonfuls, the time of cooking must be doubled. The bones and meat will keep the dough from settling into the liquid and becoming soggy. Arrange the meat in the center with dumplings around the edge and a sprig of parsley between each. Thicken the liquid and season with salt and pepper as needed, and a rounding tablespoon of butter. Chicken timbales. Mix 3/4 of a cupful of flour with a half teaspoonful of salt. Add gradually while stirring constantly 1/2 cupful of milk and 1 well-beaten egg and 1 tablespoonful of olive oil. Shape using a hot Swedish timbale iron and cook in deep fat until delicately brown. Take from the iron and invert on brown paper to drain. To make the filling for a dozen timbales, remove bones and skin from a pint bowlful of the white or white and dark meat mixed of cold boiled or roasted chicken, and cut in half-inch pieces. Put over the first in a saucepan 2 tablespoonfuls of butter and 2 of flour, and when melted and blended, add milk and chicken broth, a cupful and a half or more as desired to make a rich cream sauce. Season with salt and pepper, add the chicken, and if preferred 1/2 cupful of mushrooms cut in pieces the same size as the chicken. Then brown in butter before adding to the sauce. Fill the timbales. Deviled chicken. Split the chickens down the back and broil until done. Lay on a hot dripping pan and spread on a sauce. Scatter fine crumbs over and set in a quick oven to brown. For the sauce, beat a rounding tablespoon of butter, light with 1/2 teaspoon of mixed mustard, 1 teaspoon of vinegar, and a pinch of cayenne. Fricasseed turkey or goose giblets. Scald and pick giblets. Put them in a saucepan with a piece of butter, a bunch of parsley, green onions, thyme, bay leaf, and a few mushrooms. Warm these over the fire with a sprinkle of flour moistened with stock or water, adding salt and pepper to taste. Reduce to a thick sauce, adding to it the yolks of 2 eggs, and let simmer without boiling. Serve with sprinkling of vinegar. Fried chicken. Cut up 2